Neil Jordan's success with Interview with the Vampire, starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, helped push Liam Neeson further into the public eye. But decades later, at 73, Neeson finally revealed the one career choice that still troubles him. In 2000 he turned down a role that became one of cinema's most iconic. The director pleaded, the studio offered him everything, but Neeson declined for reasons that later broke his heart. Another actor accepted the part, the trilogy became a cultural phenomenon, and Neeson watched from the sidelines, knowing he had let something extraordinary slip away. Neeson, born William John Neeson on June 7, 1952, entered a world that was small, crowded, and difficult. Raised as the only son in a modest Catholic family in Ballymena, County Antrim, he grew up in a two-room house without indoor plumbing. His father worked as a school caretaker, his mother as a cook, and winters felt colder because even basic comforts took work. The divisions in Northern Ireland shaped him early. During the yearly Orange Marches, he was told to stay indoors, listening to the drums while wondering why he wasn't allowed to watch. The unspoken tension taught him how fragile identity could be in a divided community. At 5, he battled a severe case of whooping cough that forced him to stay in bed for weeks, cared for by a mother who barely slept. By 8, he was helping his father shovel coal at the school because unemployment in the region hovered near 20% and every bit of income mattered. Discipline was no luxury. It was survival. His escape arrived in the form of boxing. He joined the All Saints Youth Club at 9, trained constantly, and by 15 had become a regional junior light heavyweight champion. He fought around 40 amateur bouts and won most of them. But injuries, concussions, a broken nose, deep cuts, warned him of the sport's cost, and by 17 he walked away, knowing he loved strength but not violence. School life was uneven. He acted in plays and felt something awaken in him, but boxing often distracted him from classes. Only one drama teacher noticed his potential, encouraging him to pursue acting. Even so, in 1970 he attempted a more conventional path, and enrolled at Queen's University Belfast to study physics and computer science. Within a year he realized he wasn't built for equations. He slipped away to drama classes at night and eventually dropped out. To survive, he took tough jobs, operating a forklift at the Guinness Brewery, hauling 2-ton loads for little pay, working briefly in architecture before quitting in disgust after discovering his supervisor was stealing building materials, enduring long days that pushed him closer to the conclusion that he wanted his life to matter in a different way. A frightening truck accident in 1974, when his vehicle flipped twice on an icy road, sharpened that realization. He understood how quickly everything could end. In 1976 he gave teaching college a try, but a theater director visited campus, spoke about the power of performance, and invited students to audition. Neeson felt the familiar spark and immediately stepped toward it. Once he landed a role, even in a small community production, he knew he wanted acting more than anything. Despite tense moments, like a community performance where political heckling erupted, he felt alive on stage. His professional debut came soon after at Belfast Lyric Players Theatre in 1976, where he performed in 12 productions in 2 years. In 1978, he moved to Dublin to join the Abbey Theatre. There he delivered a breakthrough performance in Philadelphia, Here I Come, playing a young man torn between staying and leaving Ireland. Critics called him electrifying. In The Playboy of the Western World, he helped revive controversy attached to the play since 1907, drawing large crowds. Later, in translations, he played Owen with such nuance that the production ran for 200 nights and earned him award recognition. His first film appearances were humble. Pilgrim's Progress in 1978 was a low-budget Christian feature. He later joked felt like a school play on camera. But Excalibur in 1981 changed everything. The physically punishing shoot earned him attention, and soon he was working alongside giants like Anthony Hopkins and Mel Gibson in The Bounty, and battling illness and insects in Colombia during The Mission, which won the Palme d'Or. In 1988 he appeared in The Deadpool, surviving a dangerous crash during filming. Then came Darkman in 1990, which required hours of prosthetics and left his skin scarred, yet proved he could lead a major film. 3 years later he delivered the performance that transformed his career and his life. Oskar Schindler in Schindler's List. Filming in Poland, immersed in the weight of real history, Neeson lost weight, learned Yiddish, confronted extras dressed as Nazis, and carried the emotional gravity of the role all the way to an Academy Award nomination. Roles in Rob Roy and Michael Collins followed, the latter earning him both praise and threats from extremists. George Lucas cast him as Qui-Gon Jinn in 1999, a role requiring 6 months of fight training and culminating in one of the Star Wars saga's most beloved lightsaber duels. The film crossed the billion-dollar mark, and fans were devastated when Qui-Gon was killed. What came next would become his greatest professional regret: the offer to play Boromir in The Lord of the Rings. Exhausted from losing Qui-Gon on screen and unwilling to take another role that ended in death, he turned it down. Sean Bean took the part and delivered lines that became part of internet and film history. As the trilogy grew into one of cinema's biggest triumphs, Neeson admitted that saying no haunted him. Still, he continued working relentlessly. He voiced Aslan in The Chronicles of Narnia, played Jean Valjean in Les Miserables, and became an unlikely action icon at 55 with Taken. The film exploded globally, turning him into a new kind of action star. Though he openly criticized the scripts for the sequels, audiences loved his intensity. Behind the scenes, life was much harder. In 2009, his wife Natasha Richardson suffered a skiing accident that led to a fatal epidural hematoma. Neeson honored her wishes and let her go, a loss that reshaped his life forever. He quit smoking, focused on his sons, and confronted long-standing health issues. In 2019, he faced public backlash after admitting he had once walked the streets decades earlier in a rage after a friend was assaulted, a confession he later said filled him with shame. His career had hits and misfires, including the poorly received Marlowe in 2023. Yet in 2025 he surprised audiences by leading a reboot of The Naked Gun, throwing himself into slapstick comedy with knee braces and self-parody. Through triumphs, grief, reinvention, and regret, one choice still lingers in his mind: turning down Boromir, a role he believes might have reshaped his career and the direction of modern film. Even so, his life remains a testament to resilience, transformation, and the unpredictable paths that shape a legacy.